I went to the high school graduation of a couple of my friends today. These guys were the class below me, and I couldn't even believe that it had been a year since I got my diploma on the same stage. I haven't done a whole lot with myself since high school ended. I moved into an apartment with three of my good friends, and I got fired from my job at a grocery store and decided I wanted to finally try out hitchhiking to my friend in Georgia. It didn't work as planned, but I made it to Connecticut by sticking my thumb out and made it as south as Virginia by more conventional means, like train and bus. The trip lasted 6 days, pussied out, got too uncomfortable and flew back home and started working at this group home as a mental health rehabilitation technician, which is a prolonged title that could better be explained as just adult babysitting the mentally ill. I've had this job since August, and I've just used it to be a lazy piece of shit, basically. I make more money than I ever have in my whole life taking care of two men twice my age who are too distraught with mental anguish to live their lives with the rest of society. I make 3 meals a day, pop meds, clean dishes, sweep the floor, and bring my clients to Walmart once a week, but everything else is filler. There's maybe an hour or two of real work I actually do in a day, and even then it's basically house chores. This job really is too easy. There's no challenge or adversity, there's nothing to accomplish or overcome, no goals or destination. The guys I take care of, to put it bluntly, are definitely gonna die in this house. They have no ambitions of improving their lives, and there's nothing I can do to change any of their behavior. They're just too stubborn. You're just a body in a room without much to do. Our manager barely visits this place. It's pretty much the lowest priority he has as a house manager. He has other places he has to attend to. He has other houses he has to take care of, and this is really the least important one, if we're being honest. There's nothing to do during a shift but sit on my laptop and fuck my attention span by vegging out to internet content. I've been rotting like this for like the last 10 months, making nothing of my life, going down the path of least resistance as far as I can, encouraging some pretty bad mental habits. The lethargy I feel of being stuck in a 900 square foot house with the most mentally disturbed people out there makes me want to retreat to the internet, to YouTube, and just media bullshit. Just as an object in motion stays in motion, an object that is unmoved is stuck in a state of inertia, not going anywhere, just staying put. And that's kind of what I've been feeling like I've been doing recently. I'm just a bit pissed at myself. I wish I'd done a little bit more. I had all this time, hundreds of days and thousands of hours, and I spend most of it just kicking around without doing anything meaningful, but save money. The last year has just really flown by, and I know people say that a lot as they get older, but it just makes sense. I sit on my ass all day and do nothing but plug myself into the internet until the sun goes down. The amount of life I feel like I've experienced, the amount of experiences I've experienced in the last year has felt like a fraction of what I felt in years before this. And it's all because of the choices I've been making this whole time. Thinking of my lifestyle through time dilation is an effective way to express kind of what I'm feeling. Time feels and is observed differently by your brain depending on how critical and how crucial what you're doing is and how engaged you are when it happens. The most intense minutes of my life have felt like hours and stick in my memory like a well-crafted play, while hours or days in a row of monotony are remembered maybe by a few seconds in my long-term memory. Since I got this job, as grateful as I very much am for it, it feels like I've been plugging myself into a dialysis machine. Time has just been spinning by me without me really making anything of myself. Every day is almost a carbon copy of the last. Pop pills, talk to the clients for a bit, and watch meaningless garbage on my computer that I can't even remember after I stand up to take a piss. My brain has no reason to remember any of this shit. Your brain doesn't and shouldn't have to remember the same experience over and over and over again on repeat every day. In your long-term memory, days of monotony feel like they flew by and are hardly even remembered. It's been over half a year since I've even uploaded anything, and it feels like shit. It actually makes me a little mad, especially because it doesn't feel like the last video I put up 6 months ago. I mean, there's so much free time I've had in the last 6 months, and I've just wasted it like a little goofball. I mean, even when I come home, it's almost no different than work. I just sit down in a different chair in front of the same laptop screen and distract myself from my goals because goals require significant work and effort, and it's hard to make yourself do work when there's no one there to make you do it. Instead of feeling satisfied in myself and my abilities through hard work, I cash in for a shitty substitute for satisfaction by entertaining myself with infinite media content at my fingertips. It's not the most unbearable or difficult plight to bear by any stretch of the imagination, especially since it's all self-imposed, but it bothers me sometimes when I reflect on weeks of doing nothing substantial. I know I have value in the world and a lot of people who care about me, but it's hard to feel good about yourself when you work for nothing and live life without purpose or a drive to make things better. I know it'll get better. I'm not super pessimistic about the future or what I could develop into, at least not to some debilitating extent. I hate it when people constantly drag on themselves and their circumstances and never try and change them. And I have no interest in keeping things this way forever. I just have to cut out all the slop I surround myself with first.